Hey everybody, this is John and welcome to the free video. So we got two interesting earnings coming up. Uh, First we'll look at Facebook, which is not this week, but coming up shortly, and then we have Google. So for Facebook, it is one of the FANG stocks here that's close to all-time highs. The question is, can earnings push Facebook through it? So if you're bullish on Facebook, what do you do? So I think the easiest way if you're for an earnings play, because you can see, of course, that there's already an expected move, right? When we get there, you'll see it. But the expected move right now is going to be $8. So if in this case you think, wow, this is going to have a huge move, and you go by the 119 calls and it has the expected move, you're not going to make any money. So I like to do, if I'm pretty bullish on something, is actually even look at the money puts. Okay, so in this case, I could sell the at the money puts for $4. Or even go slightly in the money at $4.50. Now, if it gaps up, those expire worthless right away. I get to keep the money. If it's quietly higher, the IV crush will still happen. I get to keep the money. And then, of course, you just got to focus on the downside. So you can do it as a spread. Maybe buy the 106s as protection or just trade it as small size. But what I like about this is that you can be wrong, i.e. it doesn't have a big move, it just barely moves, and you still make money on it. Okay, so I do like that. Google is tomorrow, and it's going to be all eyes on Google here. This one is a little different because this thing, it tends to have some crazy moves and sometimes some quiet moves. One of the things I like doing on this is just you can sit there and you can say sell an iron fly, where you just go, all right, I'm just going to sell the 775 call, the 775 put. The expected move is about $40. Okay, so let's make it $40. All right, so now I've sold the 775 call and the 775 put, bought the 815 calls protection and the 735 calls protection for a $27.90 credit, right? So you can see in this case, I'm risking $1,200 to make $2,700. Now, if $1,200 seems like too much risk, then obviously that's not a trade that you take. Or of course, you could whittle it down and say, well, let's try the 800s and let's try the 750s. And then you kind of start whittling it down like, oh, well, now I can risk $490 to potentially make $2,000. Okay, so I like that because it gives a trader a lot of flexibility. First of all, you're not going to wake up with any nightmare, right? Secondly, what happens a lot of times is that a stock after earnings might gap up. Well, great. When it gaps up, well, close out the put side because that's worthless. But then sometimes it might have a crazy move back down, and then that call side ends up expiring worthless as well, or are you able to buy it back a lot cheaper? So I think it's a low risk way to play a highly volatile move. And the nice thing is, of course, is if Google just opens up quiet, you're a big winner because you capitalize on the IV crush, but you can play those ebbs and flows. It gaps up, great, buy back the puts. If it gaps down, buy back the calls. A lot of times you get that ebb and flow, and you get that opportunity to close out the other leg, all the time knowing what your max risk is. In this case would be $490 per lot. All right, and for those of you that are more end-of-day traders, or you just like looking for setups on slightly larger time frames, we're going to be having a class this Saturday, April 23rd, with Tucker, and he's going to talk about a system that he's developed called the Simpler Trend Trading System. Okay, so basically it's just trend trading strategies for the end-of-day trader. So it's great, like especially for like retirement accounts and stuff like that, where you're not staring at the charts all day, nor do you want to. Okay, so it's Saturday, April 23rd, from 1 to 5 Central. So there are two ways to participate in this. With the Saturday class, it is just $297, or with $497, you actually get a little bit of extra stuff. So let's review that real quick. For the Saturday class, you're going to get all the video modules that show you how to do it. There's PDFs, supporting documentation, Excel spreadsheets that show you everything so you can get started right away. The risk per share technique and all that stuff that you need there just to determine how much you risk for every trade. And then from there, you've got the setup and maintenance procedures for the trend trading strategies, and it includes the indicators for Thinkorswim or TradeStation. All right, and then there's full support every step of the way, plus the actual class. Okay. Now, for the $497 package, you actually get everything over here, plus You're going to get the mechanics of the end of day trend trading system in detail, because of some of you that like to dive in under the hood and see what's really going on here. And then as you go through here, you're going to have the potential trades in both TOS and TradeStation for the next day. He'll show you the specific tools that'll do that. Explore the process to select better potential trades, the best filters that you can use. Learn how to trade the system using options and build an end-of-day trading plan, and you get 1 month free access to the trend trading scanner. Okay, so a lot of extra value in there, and that is just $497. All right. So again, the overall goal here is just to kind of, everybody has a little bit different thing that they're looking at. If you're an end-of-day trader, you're interested in end-of-day setups, kind of turnkey, where you're not, you're working, or you want to have a separate account where you're not having to stare at it. This is what you want to take a look at. These are the two packages, and give it a whirl. I've talked to a couple people that have used it, and it's like, it's great. I don't like staring at the markets all day anyway. And another guy who does stare at the markets all day, but he likes to have an account that he doesn't worry about. And this one's essentially on autopilot. So it's a very cool way to do that. All right, you guys have a good one, and we'll see you at the next update.